Good morning, everybody. This is Robert. I'm coming to you today from my wife's study because she and the kids are out of town and I get full run of the house, including my wife's sweet iMac, which I'm looking at right here. And I love working on this machine, but I never get to because she's always on it. Anyhow, I have a question for you, just a curiosity this morning. I'm reading this book, Longitude by Davis Sobel, and it's a very good book so far. I am just 30 pages into it, started last night. It's about the solution of the problem of how to locate a ship's longitude any place on the planet. It makes this point that latitude is easy to find just by astronomical observations, but longitude being more or less a political construction, how do you determine what your longitude is? And there are ways to do this, I guess. But one of the things that really struck me, and this is the point of my post here, is the role that professors of astronomy played in this. And I just want to read this section from the book, and then I have a question. Within the borders of kingdoms hanging in the balance, numerous astronomers found gainful employment observing the moons and improving the accuracy of printed tables. In 1668, Giovanni Domenico Cassini, a professor of astronomy at the University of Bologna, published the best set yet, based on the most numerous and most carefully conducted observations. Cassini's well-wrought ephemerides won him an invitation to Paris to the court of the Sun King. And the book goes on to describe how accurate measurements, astronomical means of measuring longitude, were a key to the financial well-being of many nations in that time, because this is a way, for example, to keep merchant ships from ending up in the wrong place and wrecking themselves on the rocks of some deserted island. What really struck me about this was the influence that professors of astronomy had at this time. We still have professors of astronomy. Most colleges and universities teach astronomy courses. The large universities, the really large universities, even have departments of astronomy, perhaps. But you don't see the influence on the culture by astronomy that you used to. Astronomy used to be the science of the day, and now it really isn't. I mean, it's a viable and exciting science, but it's not the kind of thing like, say, engineering or biology that today is really determining the course of the future of this country and of many others. And so I have this question for you, just a speculation question. So 400 years ago, the idea of a professor of engineering or a professor of biology or a professor certainly of computer science would have been, if you go back to Cassini and time and say, you know, we have these in 2008, we have these universities that have departments of engineering and departments of computer science. Cassini would say, what are you talking about? What are those things? Back then, these influential academic subjects didn't really even exist in the sense that they do now. Those were taken by the place of astronomy, for example. What about 200 years from now? What's going to take the place of engineering, biology, computer science 200 years hence? What are some academic departments, academic subject areas, professorial titles that you could imagine that maybe 200 years from now would be extremely influential in our economy, in our culture, in our politics, that today would just be literally unheard of? Would we have professors of digital anthropology, for example, or what you might call code archaeology, the idea that professors are an academic subject area consisting of not learning how to write computer programs, but how to go back into 400-year-old computer programs or 200-year-old computer programs and pull out code and assemble it together. What about something even nearer term, like, say, a department of energy in a university? You know, the study of renewable, sustainable energy is becoming a really important subject in its own right. Today, it's still housed under departments of physics or engineering, but do you see any point in the future that subject emerging as a department into its own right? And also, what about humanities and the arts? Maybe some more so on the arts and the humanities. There's some interesting developments happening, say, for example, in computerized music and music recording technology. Right now, these are sort of considered sub-areas, but when do you think they'll ever become areas in their own right, or what are some other areas that might emerge in their own right out of these existing places? So I hope you understand my question, and I hope you have a nice long weekend. Probably be back posting at some point, late Monday, early Tuesday. Enjoy.